James. So pretty good body position. You're doing a good job here of keeping your head low as you turn to breathe, which was one of the things we talked about a bit. The arms look like, yep. The arms look like a bit of a straight arm pull. We'll see that better on the underwater. Got the kick. You can see how it's sort of generated from below the knee. So that's going to be something to work on, kicking more so from the hip. But good extension, that's always a key piece of this. And then from this angle, trying to see if your legs are swinging off the line of your torso. Is there any sort of weird rotation thing going on? Your rotation looks pretty good. You can see your arm recovery occasionally is hands are above the elbow, so you want to be aware of that. Maybe doing some of the finger drag drill. We did not do that one, but easy enough to see online. Your legs were staying in the same line as your torso, meaning you're streamlined. Good reach. Right arm might be going a bit too far inside or across, so you want to be aware of where that arm is reaching to. And just lifting the head a little bit as you turn to breathe. Alright, so underwater, like I was saying on the recording, your arms are more or less a straight arm pull. Meaning that your hand and forearm don't tilt vertical relative to the bottom of the pool early on in the stroke. A straight arm pull is better than the elbow slipping or the elbow leading the stroke back. So that is good. Something else that's going on is on some of the strokes as you get past the halfway point and you're approaching the finish of the push, your hand starts to turn towards your torso or towards your body. So when that happens, you get a little bit of slipping, meaning your hand is not pressing back on pressing back towards the back wall of the pool. You want those hands always pressing backwards, aka you moving forward. Good head position. Yeah, comfortable breathing. A lot of kick being generated from the lower leg, so your lower legs are kicking, but it's not originating from your hip. That is something we worked on in the clinic, and I think you did better with it. So kicking from the hip and allowing it to flow down through your leg to your foot, and then the motion of the foot is like you're kicking a soccer ball basically off the top of your foot. That one you have to work on in practice by just doing kicking drills, kicking with a kickboard, kicking without a kickboard, and then being very conscious of what you're doing when you're swimming and how it's interacting with your stroke. Here, so your arms and hands go pretty much directly back. You're not crossing over or going too wide or anything like that. I view the line that you pull back is something that's like centered on each shoulder, and imagine it's a 12-inch column centered on the shoulder, and your hands should stay within that column throughout the entire pull. And you're pretty much doing that. So good rotation here, nice extension. You got those going on, and then as you start the pull, you can see there's not a difference between your upper arm and your forearm. So that's a very very good straight arm style of pull. So you want to do a lot of those drills that we went through. catch-up drill where you're focusing on the vertical forearm. One-arm drill in particular is a very good one. And then here you can see how your hand is pitched inward, so you're not pushing back there anymore. So that's something else to consider. I think we might have done dog paddle, if you recall that one, or look it up. Dog paddle is another one that works on the early vertical forearm or high elbow catch, which is really where you want to spend a lot of your time focusing on now, because you got the other stuff pretty good. And then similar on this side, good extension. Perhaps your rotation on that side is not as great. That's not a big deal though. And then upper arm and forearm, more or less one line, and you actually have a little bit of the elbow leading the stroke back here. Notice how your hand and forearm remain pitched upwards instead of being early vertical, and your elbow is kind of coming back towards your torso in front of your forearm. So that's an elbow leading the stroke back, or a little bit of elbow slip, not much. Hand is better here through the finish, so it was that right hand. So there you go. I hope all that helped.